Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be our properties of parabola home review part 2. And in this one, we'll be sketching a graph for this equation. We'll hopefully try to get through this and all, but I want to show you in steps in case you didn't have a graphing calculator. Okay, and so the very first thing I would recommend is that you would first find the axis of symmetry. Now, why do this though? Well, you want to make sure you have a table of numbers so that your middle number is going to be the vertex. And so all the numbers on the sides will give you a nice U shape. You have to? No, but you know what though? You know that the quadratic equation will be a parabola shape, a U shape, and also you definitely want to make sure it's best represented though. And there's a lot of information here, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to see in this case, we'll use axis symmetry again. And here we label our A value is 1, our B value is -2, and our C value is -3. And so axis symmetry is going to be negative B over 2A. And this will be the middle number for our table. So here we have negative of -2 over 2 times 1. We have 2 over 2. So our axis symmetry will be 1. And when we make our table here, so I'd like to make a table of 7 values. And the axis symmetry value found, which is 1, x equals 1, that will go in the middle. Okay, so definitely what to do is you want to put that number in the middle, and now we pick 3 integers. 3 consecutive integers that are above and below this axis symmetry value. So if I'm trying to find 3 integers directly consecutive less than 1, I'm going to be using the numbers 0, -1, and -2. And then we'll find the 3 values that are going to be greater than 1 consecutively afterwards. I'm going to use the values 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, one of the things about using a graphing calculator is that sometimes, when your axis symmetry is not a nice number, you may not see that vertex, and so you sketch stuff like it'll look a little weird, right? In this case, it'll look like the bottom part is like kind of flattened out. We know the parabola's a U shape and all. So for this one, hopefully it's okay. So a couple of things. I'm going to plug in the 1 value here. So here, in this case, 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So 1 minus 2 is going to be -1. Minus 3 is going to be -4. Again, you can type this into the y equals of your calculator, and what they'll do is it will be able to find the values for you, especially if your axis symmetry is a nice number now. So, okay. And of course, when x equals 0, well, y value is -3 because all the x's are 0. All right. And if I plug in the value 2 for x, I get 2 squared, which is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Minus 3 is -3. And so we're noticing, hopefully, that on either side of the axis symmetry, or this is the vertex, the y values are going to kind of match up. Okay, so now if I plug in the value for -1, I'm going to get the same value if I plug in the x for 3. So -1 squared is 1, and -2 times -1 is 2, and therefore, 1 plus 2 is 3 minus 3 is 0. So if this is 0, this should be 0 as well too. And then plug in -2 squared is 4, -2 times -2 is also 4, 4 plus 4 is 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay, and there you go. And again, I want to show in this case that you have these values matching on either side. And we'll see this same thing occurring when we graph. Okay, so let's see now. I'm going to plot some points. So at x equals -2, we have a y value of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plot the point right here. Okay. And then when x equals -1, the y value is 0. Okay, when x is 0, y value is -3. This is our y-intercept. When x is 1, y value is 4. When x is 2, our y value is -3. When x is 3, our y value is 0. And when x is 4, y value is 5. I'm just trying to get these dots a little bit bigger. All right. And so now we're going to sketch our graph. And we'll notice in this case, from the vertex, it's increasing this way and coming this way up here. All right. We'll see in this case that our a value is positive, therefore the parabola is turned upwards. Okay. And so when we sketch this, we always label this y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. And you'll see in this case, your vertex, this is the vertex or turning point, is at 1, -4. Not only that, we also have the roots. These are the x-intercepts. And so these are the roots, and that's where the graph crosses the x-axis. We see this occurring here. So whenever you have to find the roots, we'll see in this case that's where it crosses the x-axis, and it satisfies the equation x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Here we're going to identify the min and max of each and then sketch the graph. And so for number 7, we're going to do, for this one, we're going to do the same exact thing as before. Here we're going to label our a, b, and c value. A is -1, b is 8, and c is -20. We want to find our axis of symmetry. Now again, for the sketch, of course, but the information about the axis of symmetry and the vertex will give us the information we need for our min and max. So we have x is equal to -8 over 2 times -1, and that means I'm going to get an answer of 4. So x equals 4, okay? Make my table here, make it a little smaller so we can fit things in here. Our same exact thing we did before. So the middle numbers will be 4, and so I'm using 3, 2, and 1, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? And so it seems like a lot of this will be on the right side of the x-axis, of the y-axis. Now I'm going to plug in the y value for 4. Now this is important because the min and max, all right? The min and max value really talks about the vertex, but the y value, okay? And so I'm focusing on x equals 4. When x equals 4, all right, I'm going to find f of 4. And f of 4 is going to equal to -4 squared plus 8 times 4 minus 20. And so I have -16 plus 32 minus 20. That's 16 minus 20, or -4. So now I found my vertex. Okay, -4 here. Now here's the thing. Because my a value is negative, this parabola is going to be facing downwards. And we'll be able to show in this case that our max value is going to be -4. The max or min value is the y value. Let's find the other values in this case for y. All right, if I plug in 3, a -9 plus 24 is going to be -9 plus 24 is going to be 15. 15 minus 20 is going to be -5. So -5 here and -5 here. All right, plug in 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, -4, plus 8 times 2 is 16. That gives me positive 12. Positive 12 minus 20 is -8. Hope enough space. And then for 1, 1 squared is 1, -1, I have 8. So I have -1 plus 8 is -7. So positive 7 minus 20 is -13. I may not be able to fit that on here, but we'll see how it works out. All right, so let's graph this thing. All right, so here we go. So when 1 is -13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, I don't go enough. So I'm going to pick up a 2. 1, so x equals 2, y equals -8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. When x equals 3, y is -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When x equals 4, y is -4. When x equals 5, y is -5. X equals 6, y is -8. And if we had again enough to go downwards, we had to get to -13. So our graph is going to look a lot like this here. Again, we know it's facing downwards. Okay, so this is y is equal to, oh, f of x, sorry, not y, f of x. Make sure I write this same exact way. F of x is equal to -x squared plus 8x minus 20. Now, we see here, this is the vertex at 4, -4. And that's and in this case, the highest y value is going to be -4. Therefore, we will say in this case, I'll type it out because my handwriting's terrible. So the max value for this function is -4. Okay. Again, we're talking about we're talking about in this case the max value. In this case, we're talking about the y value. Max, min. You should talk about the y value in this case, and it was always at the vertex. Okay. So remember, in this case, the max or min of a quadratic function occurs at the vertex. I'm going to clean this up a little bit so you guys can see a little better. Okay. All right, let's see if I can just move this here and maybe collapse this thing here so you can see a little bit better. Okay, how's that? There you go. All right, so that's why. Okay, and so for the other questions as somewhat to this, you guys can figure out, okay, so this is in this video we did 2 graphing situations. Although it didn't work out so well, I maybe should have moved this graph up a little bit higher, but we can do. All right, so we saw the axis symmetry, super important, help us set up the graph. Also tells us where the vertex is, and it allows us to be able to solve the problem where the max or min of the quadratic function is. And the max or min is always going to be the y value, okay? All right, and it's always going to be the y value of the vertex. Okay, thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is going to be the end of our part 2 of our properties of parabola homework review, and look forward to our next video. In this case, we go over the other properties for the questions here. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful, and leave any questions or comments in the comments section below. All right, thanks so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.